If we have a quick look at round two, the way those 5 games, Matt, are cancelled, 2 points each, I suppose they had to do something. Is that what you would have done, Matt?
It's a very, very difficult situation, isn't it, Stu? I'll take it back 20 years. When I was coaching Leinster, we went to Newcastle, and Newcastle was frozen out. And they made Leinster go back to Dublin, then fly to Leeds on a Tuesday and play the game in Leeds because it was a hooted pitch. And then we had to fly on to play Toulouse in Toulouse. So we were forced to play 2 games in 4 days. And we got pounded in Toulouse and ended up with a quarter final away to Leicester, which was disastrous. So I think the competition has come a long way since then. But I have to say, I think Leinster have been dealt very, very unfairly. That they didn't get the equivalence of a draw, but they were given 0 points, and Montpellier were given the 28 away. So for a bonus point win. And I think that was really unfair and very, very unjust. And I think the Leinster boys, Leo Cullen, as he always is very reserved and conducted himself in a very sportsmanlike manner. I would have been screaming from the rooftops, calling them names, because I think Leinster have been very hard done by. In this world of COVID, the draw is the way to, absolutely, there's justice there. It's not what we want. Everyone want the game to play. But Leinster had a turn to go, and I really do feel that that's unjust. And look, that's put their season at grave risk. There's no 2 ways about that. We don't know where they'll end up. But I've been watching Montpellier a bit, and I felt Leinster were going to beat them quite easily, especially after we saw what they did to Bath at home. I thought they certainly had the better of Montpellier. We'll know a little bit more about that as we go along this weekend. But justice has to be evenly distributed, and I certainly don't believe that it has been done so far.
Quinny, do you agree with what Matt's saying there?
I don't entirely agree with it, and I usually agree with a lot of what Matt says, but I just think that the problem was, and look, there's no point digging up all ground here. I think Montpellier that week had COVID positives on Monday, didn't have them on Tuesday or Wednesday. Leinster had them on Wednesday, and then subsequently it escalated. So there's something we don't know about what went on here. They were given clearance from the HSC, but what I can hear from that, it was a letter that was pretty standard. Restrictions there wasn't many restrictions in here at that time. It was the start kind of the Omicron situation. There was a bit of panic and around that, but I don't know. I think it's obviously when the travel, the France UK travel ban came in, I think that changed it completely, and it did add some argument to say, well, look, on the balance here, maybe these should be draws as well. So I'm not saying they shouldn't have been draws, but I just think the problem that Leinster had is they had those results on a Wednesday. The game was supposed to be Friday, and subsequently, that group of players who they named to go to France, well, they couldn't go down and fulfill the fixture against Munster. So they had more COVID after that. So did that justify EPCR's decision? Probably, in their eyes, it did. I'm not saying it's entirely fair, and I do feel for the integrity of the competition, maybe it should have been. I'm really glad that they didn't just scrap rounds 3 and 4 and go to a kind of a knockout situation like they did last year. But of course, there's an argument to say it's unfair. But I think, Leinster had issues with COVID, and subsequently from that day on, and if they actually went to France with that group, well then, because a number of those players who were in that 23 actually had got COVID pretty much straight after that. So it's a very complex one. But of course, I'd have loved to have seen draws in all of them. And I just think Leinster need to, unless they go to the European Court of Arbitration, is that what you call it, and take it further, I think they just need to bin the talk on this now, get 5 points against Montpellier on Sunday, if they turn up, and because they've had COVID this week, and get 5 points in their last game as well, and get to 15 points. And it's not going to be ideal. It mightn't give him a home quarterfinal or home semi-final. It makes it a little bit more difficult. So, look, it's a tough situation for him.